Hello, and you join me today with Honda's 2021 Forza 750. The Forza range is a new range for Honda this year, and it consists of three models. You've got the 125cc, the 350cc, and what you see here, the 750cc range topper. Now, what Honda have tried to do is to combine the best of both worlds between a traditional motorcycle and a scooter, giving you that kind of ease of use, practicality, efficiencies and so on that you'll get with a scooter, combined with some decent quality underpinnings. So to underpin those motorcycle aspirations, those real motorcycle aspirations, what you've got up front here is a proper set of forks and brakes. Okay, so you've got 41mm upside down show of forks there. Also, those brake discs, they're 310mm brake discs. They've got 4 piston calipers on them radially mounted. It's a 240mm disc on the rear, but probably the most interesting part of the back end of this bike here is the fact that the rear wheel is only 15 inch compared to the front wheel 17 inches. But I've got to say, it doesn't really seem to hamper the handling at all. You don't really notice it once you're on the move. Within Honda's marketing, they refer to this as a mega scooter. Sounds like a marketing term. Or alternatively, a GT scooter. Now, if you're going to make those kind of claims, you want the thing to be powered by something a little above and beyond what you'd normally find in a traditional scooter. And so it is. What you've got, the heart of the bike here, is a 745cc parallel twin. All right, now that outputs 58 brake horsepower and 69 newton meters of torque. Not a huge amount of power, but it's enough. It really is. It's plenty for this type of vehicle, but it's a decent amount of torque. 69 newton meters is a good amount of torque, and as such makes it very easy to ride. So in terms of practicalities, under this seat you get a stunning 22 litres of storage, which is brilliant. You won't get anywhere near that amount on a normal motorcycle. It's controlled by a button on the dash here. Nice and easy, straightforward. Open that up, and 22 litres is big enough to house an entire helmet. So that's really useful. Very, very, very handy. What you've also got on the dash, just to show you here, is the fuel button, which is kind of cool. It's kind of snazzy. The other piece of storage you've got is this cubby hole at the front here, which is probably big enough to put your phone and a sandwich in, something like that. Yeah, pretty useful. The bike is keyless, and a quick push of the ignition button here on the dash will fire up all the electronics. Now on the dash here you'll see you see the riding modes. It says standard currently, and you've got a P, which stands for power, EB, which is engine braking, D, which means it's in DCT as opposed to manual, and the final one is T, which is torque. Now if I come over here to the bars, you'll see a mode button there. If I press that, you'll see the riding mode change. Okay, so the next one we've got is rain, and you can see it's adjusted the parameters accordingly. Then we've also got an individual mode and a sport mode. Okay, so those are the 4 riding modes that are available. While we're here, let me talk a little bit about the DCT. So what you'll see down here in this bottom left hand corner, it says D at the moment, which is DCT, or automatic. If I show you this cluster, the cluster of controls on the right hand bar here, what you'll see is the N here, which is to put the bike in neutral, D, which is to put it in drive, and the button here, which switches between DCT and manual. Now you can leave it in DCT and it will change gears quite happily, and at which point it does it will depend which mode you're in. So it will hold the revs a lot longer if you're in sport as opposed to rain. But if you want to put that in manual, you can come over on the right hand bar here and, oh, if I could do it without falling off, it's kind of tucked away, but at the bottom here, at the bottom here, that's the button to change down, and on top, up near here, you've got the button to change up. So you can ride it like a car really, with flappy paddles. One thing I should also mention, which is a bit alien, first getting on a bike, this, obviously, there's no need for a clutch, so this is the rear brake, okay? It's a bit odd, took me a little while to get used to that, but there you go. Kind of makes sense when you think about it. Once you're out on the road, that screen's really easy to read, as you can see here. And the scooter itself, it certainly doesn't feel like it's inferior to a traditional motorcycle in any way whatsoever. Another big positive here are the mirrors. Now, quite often on a motorcycle, you'll get a lot of vibrations through the mirrors, which make it tricky to pick out things behind you. On this bike, they're rock solid, and they're amongst the best I've ever used on a bike. So, in conclusion, what do I think? I really like it. I was a bit confused about the whole concept when I initially got on the bike, but it makes a lot of sense once you start riding it. I have never ridden a motorcycle or a scooter that's this easy to ride, okay, at speeds above what you'd normally expect a scooter to do. Okay, it's a very easy, relaxing ride. It really is, especially if you whack that DCT box into automatic and just go with the flow. Probably fantastic in built-up areas if you're living in London or somewhere like that. Now, they tout it as a GT scooter, and I've spent 2 hours on this at a time, and it was absolutely fine. You've got good storage. You should get 70 miles to the gallon out of it. You know, what more do you want? It's not a light bike. It's way over 200 kilos, 230 kilos, something like that. It's not light at all. However, it's down pretty low, and you don't really notice it. You certainly don't notice it once you're on the move anyway. This bike is £9,999 here in the UK, so it's not cheap. And in fact, for that amount of money, you could arguably say that you could get yourself a real motorcycle, in inverted commas. But if you did that, you'd lose some of the storage, the practicalities, the ease of use and efficiencies that we've spoken about. So that's a case for the individual user to weigh up, I guess. In terms of rivals, if you look at Yamaha's offering, they do a T-Max, similar bike. It's got a 560cc parallel twin engine, puts out a little less power than this, it's a little lighter, but it's £2,000 more. That's a £12,000 bike. So in direct comparison to that, potentially this is something of a bargain. And there you have it. That's my review of the Honda Forza 750. I hope you found it informative, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.